Thank you for joining us. I'm Joanne Georgelis, and I'm here with Bill Caridius, the founder of Spartan Equipment. Bill, I am so excited to be here today and just to learn about your career and about the founding of Spartan Equipment and the construction equipment industry as a whole. So thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Great. Glad to be here. Thank you.
So Bill, I thought maybe you could tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're from.
Yes, so I was born and raised in Baltimore, Maryland. I'm the son of immigrant parents from Greece. And, I was pretty much, a Baltimore guy. Went to high school in Baltimore, and I've lived in Maryland my whole life, still do. And, as a young guy, I played a lot of sports. I played football. I did a little bit of bodybuilding. And, I traversed as a young man, through the construction industry actually for some time until I found my way a little bit. I was in sales, and then I'd go back into the construction equipment industry working with my hands. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of my life's journey up until I got into this industry.
So that's how you got started in the construction equipment sales? Like, how did you get started? Was it a little bit in terms of after high school, or?
Yeah, so I did construction work, specifically concrete construction work, to pay my way through. I went to an all-boys Catholic high school, and back then, my dad worked at General Motors, and we were a one-income family. And to try to help pay for the tuition, I worked during the summers, and I used to work 6-day weeks, working hard with my hands in the construction trade. I didn't get into the construction equipment industry actually until it was May of 1989.
Okay.
And I got my start with the Ditch Witch product line actually. And at that time, I still lived in Baltimore, but my territory was in Northern Virginia, Washington, D.C., Montgomery County, a little bit of PG County. So I would travel every day from Baltimore into my territory, which was sometimes about a 2-hour trek. Work a 10, 12-hour day and then have to come back to Baltimore. But yeah, I mean, I paid my dues as a young guy in the industry for years.
A lot of commuting too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how did your career progress, and what made you an industry-leading sales professional for all the brands you have represented?
Yeah, well, on that front, I guess I would say, it was my upbringing had a lot to do with it. The value system of hard work. Honestly, giving your employer everything that he deserves, or she deserves as being an employee. I guess that's issue number one. But when I started at Ditch Witch, and then about 4 years into my career, I had started kind of making a name for myself in the industry as being a hardworking guy in selling construction equipment. But by 1992 is when I got specifically into the compact construction equipment, which primarily are skid steer loaders, mini excavators. And that back then, the company I worked for at the time, we had taken on the Toyota skid steer line,
Wow.
which back then was just making their presence known in the U.S. market. And the company I worked for at the time, we were the number one Toyota dealer in the country. And from there we went to the Gale line, and then the New Holland product line for a while, and then I sold some Takeuchi for a while, Mustang, and then I got with the Bobcat company, promoting their brand probably in the mid '90s. So I would say that my work ethic and learning how to take care of the end user and educate him on what will best fit his needs. Is what probably kept me in the forefront of being one of the top producing salesmen nationally for every brand that I ever represented.
Wow, that's outstanding. So when was the company Spartan Equipment founded?
So I decided after working for several brands as an employee that I really wanted to strike out on my own. I wasn't sure at that exact time, the future of where I'd land in the industry with creating my own brand nationally. But I started my company in March of 1997.
Okay.
So that was the founding and the start of the company at that time, yeah.
So why did you create Spartan Equipment? The why.
Yeah, so I would say the why, at that point, at the intersection of my career, I kind of wanted to take the best of all the brands that I had represented, what I thought was the best, and kind of siphon through what I didn't like about some of the approaches that our industry has traditionally taken in distributing, compact construction equipment. So I created Spartan Equipment. That was probably the genesis of why I wanted to start the brand, in addition to be able to control the quality of the products that we would offer and how we would support the products.
Outstanding. So this is a very interesting question and something I've always wondered. How did you decide on the name and the branding slogan?
Yeah, that goes back to probably my youngest son when he was about 10 years old. He used to love warriors and gladiators and soldiers and stuff, as did I. Growing up as a kid, I was always into ancient history, and, my Greek heritage, I think, played into that. And, I love the time period of ancient Greece and ancient Rome. And so that, I think, was the start of it, because my son approached me and said, hey, what if we did something with soldiers, And initially, I didn't put a lot of serious thought to it, but then I started thinking about it. And then doing some research specifically about the Spartans and the 300 Spartans specifically, and that story of King Leonidas in 485 BC.
Strong and tough.
Yeah, where they defended, the Athenian city-states from King Xerxes in 485 BC. I wanted to play on that tough theme. Mm-hmm. And that's how we kind of came up with the Spartan brand. And then, we developed our motto, to reflect the toughness of our products, which is attachments that never surrender.
And when your collection is outstanding, I really enjoy it. So when did you first launch a website and that online presence, and why?
Yes, so the first website interactive that I launched was actually in 2000. So I was probably one of the first companies nationally at that point, even with larger brands like Caterpillar and Bobcat and John Deere, to see the future of where technology and shopping online could take our industry as well. I was watching how people were buying things from companies like eBay and Amazon, and it struck me that someday our clients are going to be doing the same thing. So to the dismay of a lot of my competitors, who at the time, would make fun of me and kind of, would make comments like, wow, these guys are never going to buy this stuff on the internet. Yeah. I went against the grain. And I forged forward with that idea. And now, 23 years later, it has paid off in spades.
It was your fuel, I think.
Yeah, I think it's definitely is what has led to Spartan's success nationally in such an accelerated fashion, for sure.
Yeah, I would agree. So being in sales, this is always a question I get in my industry, and I'm sure you get it in yours, but what sets Spartan Equipment apart from all the other main competitors in the construction attachment industry?
Well, I would say probably there's three main pillars that I think sets us apart and continues to do so. First and foremost, I think I'd like to start with the integrity. I placed high value on integrity, and I emphasize that with our employees every day. Never to try to mislead or steer a customer. And you being in sales, I think you'll understand what I mean by steering them. As a trained professional, and if you are very good at knowing your product knowledge, right? I don't want to indict the whole sales industry, but there tends to be, in some salespeople, the tendency to want to steer a client to what will benefit them most, and not their client's needs. And that's a slippery slope when you go down that road. And I've always tried to discipline myself and all of our employees to never go down that road. Yeah. Listen to the client, listen to their need, and offer them what you know would be best to fit their application at the most equitable price margin for them, not for us. And in doing so, you're going to award yourself, hopefully, a loyal client for life. and referrals from them. They'll do the selling for you from there forth. So that's kind of the approach. So that's number one. Number two, I would go with the quality. I'm very stringent about the components that we use. Our products are made here in the United States with American steel, which is becoming more rare due to cost constraints and the cost of raw materials and goods. But we want to stay faithful to the quality that we adhere to, which is one of the big things that separates us from especially a lot of imports that we're seeing flooding our shores now, specifically from China. And it's a constant battle because they pretty much copy our products, but not with the same integrity of materials. We stick to that as far as the quality factor. And number three, I would say that our pillar, which might be the most important one, is the support after the sale with parts, technical support. We offer owner's manuals, parts manuals online with our products so customers have easy access to be able to know how to get the support from the products that they purchase from us. So I would say, yeah, those are the three main pillars that really set Spartan apart from many of our competitors.
So integrity, quality, and support.
Absolutely. I think hits the nail on the head. Yeah.
That's outstanding. So, Bill, how can consumers get in touch with you? So if I'm a consumer right now and I want, Spartan equipment, can you tell us a little bit how can they do that?
Yeah, so the best way is to find us online. We've invested a tremendous amount of resources into our website, for 23 years running now. We have a lot of information. We have our product owners manuals, parts manuals, studio quality images, demonstration videos. So we invite you to simply go online to SpartanEquipment.com. Of course, you can shop anytime online. We're glad to also assist you by phone. If you'd like to call in and if you have specific questions, you can call us at 1-888-1085. We're here from 8 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday.
Great, thank you. And it wouldn't be an interview with me if I didn't ask you, what do you like to do for fun?
Yeah, so for fun, I guess I would say number one, it's being with my family. Okay. Being with my kids and my wife. That's probably my greatest treasure and what I enjoy the most. But, in addition to that, I've always been an athletic guy. I love sports. I still train. I love training and exercising and staying healthy. Traveling, of course, when I can. But yeah, I would say those are some of the things that I enjoy the most.
You love music, Bill, because I heard some great tunes that you had selected in your theater, and you're a very good dancer too. So.
Well, thank you. I didn't think about that, but music actually has been a very impactful thing in my life, my entire life since I was a young boy. And as you say, I do enjoy listening to music and dancing, which is part of my heritage. So that is a great point. I do enjoy that as well.
You got to have some fun too.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much, Bill. It's been great, and I really appreciate you taking the time, and I've learned so much about your company and your career. I just think it's outstanding.
Well, great. I really appreciate the time you've given me to share, the legacy of not only myself, but the founding of Spartan Equipment.
Thank you.